Hello, good evening. It's Adil here bringing you a review of the US markets then for Monday's trading session, the 15th of February 2021. Please be sure to obviously visit my site and follow me on Twitter, which is my main area of activity. Obviously, Intermarket Analysis, trader_Adil, and you can certainly find me there. Okay, just a quick review in terms of a technical picture in terms of US. I think the fundamental one backdrop certainly remains pretty bullish, as I did argue for a potential reversal last week, but that obviously didn't really ensue. We did get a short reversal, but nothing major until Friday. Obviously, we ripped higher on the back of Fed, and obviously the stimulus news as well. So, in terms of the Dow Jones Industrial, I think I did highlight this as well with regards to the market itself. The Dow Jones average or Dow Jones Industrial average is really only 30 stocks, and that's not really something that I focus on. But nevertheless, it certainly is bullish and certainly breaking higher. So again, you have to respect that for now. But from my perspective, it's always the Dow Transport Rotation Average. I did say to you that keep an eye on this in terms of the equity markets. If this obviously holds at 75% and lower, then obviously we reverse, and obviously if it pushes higher, then obviously we push higher. So far, it certainly seems that the stimulus stays a $1.9 trillion stimulus in terms of Biden. Certainly seems to be the main focus. As you can see here, we've broken past the 75% now. All eyes on that double top. If the obviously Dow, obviously transportation average breaks through that, then again you are looking at the S&P reaching to new heights, and that's already occurred to a large extent, given the fact that the S&P obviously is mainly infused by the tech heavy obviously stocks, and they're obviously leading the rally to a large extent. But nevertheless, obviously the reflation trade, the growth trade certainly seems to be in full swing. As you can see in the daily chart there, we pushed a new high, 60-minute chart. The previous high, swing high, was around the 39.31, and that obviously has been broken. Now, it has been quite impressive because we did get that sell-off midweek, just prior to just post the Fed actually, given the fact that Fed was Wednesday, so we got a pivot low of 38.91 until obviously we pushed higher, which was quite impressive. We did get a bit of a wobble post-Fed, or going into the Fed on the Wednesday. Obviously, once they came out very accommodative, the markets obviously started to rally, to say the least. And as you can see here in the 60-minute chart, we're obviously breaking to new highs, which is quite impressive. On the 10-minute chart, certainly shows the rally as well. As you can see here, we hit a pivot low at double bottom at gap fill, and then obviously we've not looked back since. So very, very impressive. Okay, and the Friday was just an impressive rally to say the least. I mean, we hit a pivot low at 39.15 before obviously we pushed higher up and broke to new highs, and we constantly short squeezed. So it'll be interesting to see how the European markets react now. But in the interim, obviously very, very bullish in terms of the setup, for S&P 500 at present. And again, all eyes will be on the Dow Transportation Average as well. Now, the Russell 2000 certainly hasn't followed. So again, that's certainly a cause for concern. So anything that's lagging really is a cause for concern, given the obviously thrust higher that we're witnessing at present. Let's just bring up the 2000. So this is generally a better gauge, and 2000 again has broken, obviously pushed to new highs, but not exactly an impressive thrust to say the least. But nevertheless, it's taken out that negative candle. 60-minute chart certainly pushing higher, not a convincing high, but nevertheless pushing higher. So again, that needs to be respected for now. Let's quickly bring up tech for you as well. The tech shares certainly pushing higher in terms of the rally, which obviously one would expect. The S&P obviously push higher, and it's exactly the identical movement here as well on the tech. And again, new highs, very impressive, and that's obviously what's caused the S&P to push new highs as well. We've retested previous resistance equal support, and the tech sector certainly isn't looking back. So very, very bullish scenario in terms of the focus obviously being on vaccine hopium, obviously the focus being on lockdown, obviously reversal and opening up there, and obviously the infection numbers certainly are potentially coming lower, but the scare and the concern remains on the mutations and the new variations and whether these vaccines can obviously pull through. So that's the focus, and I think the J&J one does. Nevertheless, let's just continue to watch. The market certainly is very, very bullish right now. The most bullish scenario obviously is being baked in. Commodities certainly pushing to new highs here on the back of vaccine hopium and obviously growth and reflation trade. As you can see here, weekly chart now is into solid resistance, and this is what caused me to certainly exercise caution, especially in terms of European indices. But nevertheless, US stocks are very bullish, and that's one area that I certainly haven't been shorting. Obviously last week, in terms of the US equities, if anything, looking to buy the dip from that perspective. But nevertheless, we are now into potential turbulence and resistance. Let's see if the commodities obviously can continue to push higher. Let's see if the Dow transports can actually break above that key resistance which I showed you before. Okay, the Dow Transportation Average, this is the main index for me because this basically measures the stimulus rally. Okay, and it's a stimulus rally that will give the fresh impetus to the markets to continue higher. Nevertheless, always be mindful that the markets can reverse as quickly as they went higher, and we could certainly be in a bearish, obviously, narrative very, very quickly, given the fact that this market is very frothy right now. The Nasdaq certainly seems to be the leader at present, so again, keep an eye on that. If that starts to reverse, then obviously the markets certainly are indicating weakness, but for now, very, very bullish momentum in terms of US equities. Wish you the best for the trading week ahead, and again, I've highlighted the areas to watch out for. Goodbye now.